Hey, happy Friday the 13th, Trojans. This is Jeff, just with a quick message as we transition from quarter one of first semester into quarter two for first semester. So hopefully the transition will go smoothly. The admin team met this morning. We talked quite a bit about the things that our teachers need. We have some communication tools we've been using to get ready for quarter two. It looks like most things are taken care of. I know we're still populating what the students need for picture and pickup days. And as you guys know, probably won't have all the kids there, but hopefully we're get at least 75% of the kids like we had back in the fall, early fall, late summer. I think we ended up with about 81% of the kids because we did a makeup day too. So that was great. Anytime we can hit 80% on a big, large scale effort like that, I think that's pretty darn good. So we'll see what happens and then we'll adjust accordingly. One of the things I wanted to say was just thank you for all the work you've done the last 9-10 weeks, and then everything you've done to prepare for that. Our kids are in great hands. I really believe that. And there isn't a Google Meet classroom observation I've gone into where I haven't walked out of there or clicked out of there and said, our kids are in a good place. And I mean that purely just from academic and the teacher care. But I also want to convey the message that many of our students, and I don't have a number on that, I'm just going to say a lot of our kids aren't living in the greatest situations in terms of having great bandwidth and technology. And I've heard stories of teachers telling me their kids are connecting in a closet. That's where they're doing their classes, maybe because there's so much commotion going on in the home. Maybe there's a baby or dogs or whatever. But we're also getting some information from kids who are living in very volatile situations. So I just want to make sure we're being very mindful of that and being very fair with our kids. And it's really important that we use the power of curiosity. When a student shows up late, when a student turns in work late, or they're asking for a little bit of grace, that our biases and don't leap to the front. And when they do, we just count 10 seconds and go, okay, how else can I approach this? It's really important. We do that as administrators all the time as we're working with parents, with staff members. This really is a time, if we've ever had a time, to really express gratitude for all the hard work and then also to extend grace as needed. I've heard some of our staff members saying they're giving more grace to kids, and a lot of that is inspired by the grace that their supervisors are giving them, and whatever it takes, curiosity, realization, things you already know about your kids. Some of us have gone on opportunities with our students. I've been able to meet with a few kids one-on-one, mainly through Google Meet. Some of our folks have been doing home visits, porch visits. I don't know what the total number is of home visits we've done as a school. The number just keeps climbing. I'm going to say it's somewhere around 200, maybe a little bit above that. But just some really great stories are coming back from that, and also some stories letting us know that we aren't enough right now to help some of these families overcome some of the challenges they have. But it doesn't mean we're going to stop scratching and clawing and looking into resources, because that's exactly what we are doing. One of the things that came up this morning was just about now that we are at a grading period, and I'm going to go ahead and click out of my screensaver here. We are at a grading period, and or my background. And because we're at a grading period, that creates a lot of tough decision making for teachers. We get that. I really want you to practice with the flexibility you have as the teacher of record. You might have a student right now that might be sitting at right below the E grade, might be sitting at 40-something%, not quite there. I want you to use your curiosity, and I want you to really think about that student as if they were your own and your own child. And if they were going through something similar, something difficult, what kind of grace would you hope the teacher would provide them? What kind of accountability measures would you want the teacher to provide your student too? So, I know it's a tough go. I know there's, a balance that you have to strike, and the picture isn't always clear. But I think the more questions you ask of your students, leveraging those relationships that you've built in the last 9 to 10 weeks, and you don't sell yourself short. Some of the kids that have never turned their cameras on, some of the kids that haven't really been in the chat, if, you know, assuming they've been showing up, they've been able to see the standard of care you've been giving the class. And I think from a standpoint of our entire school, I think we need to have kind of a school approach. And like I said, let's just really extend grace wherever we can. The grades can change, okay? Even if you feel like you have to, based on all the information you have, that student gets an F. If there's a compelling story, keep a lifeline with that student, meaning let that student know you have to turn in the F on Monday, but you're interested in having more of a conversation with them about if they want to come back and improve the grade. We can do that, okay? If you have any questions about that, definitely reach out to me or any of the administrators, and we'll work with you on that. There's just so much uncertainty out there, and we want to be really certain when we're setting our grades up, because they are important. They stay with our kids for a long, long time, and really kind of help them steer the course that they're going to take. Okay, lastly, starting semester, or actually quarter two, have a great Monday. We're going to do our best not to give you a bunch of information come Monday morning. I just have a couple of updates that I'll put on that forum, but for the most part, would like to just have a really quiet rollout and let you guys kind of work with that new schedule, kind of find out how it's working and what some of the pros and cons are. Unfortunately, you only get to work it once a week, so maybe we'll wait about 3 weeks before we start to provide some feedback on that, or invite feedback to see how it's going. I mean, the schedule is a schedule. You got 25 and you have 35 minutes broken up in kind of a split schedule. But I think if we can kind of share with each other how it's going, how it's working, I think that'll serve us well. Next week on Wednesday, we do have a staff meeting. I've been getting a lot of really great input from the BLT. The only two like hard topics that we have, just so you know, one has to do with cleaning up our referrals of kids who are struggling, and how they, we'll just call them their cases. Their cases move into our Auburn Connection team and our counselors, and how all that looks. We have to get better with ACT on how we're cataloging that and keeping the data all together so that we can differentiate tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. We are all part of tier 1, okay? Every one of us is part of tier 1. We do all the things that are guaranteed for all kids, and then we do the best we can to keep kids in tier 1. And then once we have to move to tier 2, that's the referral I'm talking about. So we'll have a session on that. Katie Henry's going to actually run that session. I'm hoping maybe she'll throw in a little bit of yoga. That'd be kind of cool. And then the next session has to do with the Apex intervention tutorials. That'll be Stacy, and I think we're going to offer that as a breakout. And then some of the really great ideas that came from BLT, I'm going to keep you on the edge of your seats, and we'll have breakout sessions for those. And then you guys will kind of pick and choose that. So really just kind of one general session with referrals. And after that, we'll just kind of unleash you and let you guys go where you want to go. And hopefully you'll have an opportunity to visit with each other too. We want to make sure that piece is in there. And I think that's all I got. So have a great Friday. Thank you for everything you guys are doing. And I know I never feel like I'm doing enough. And I hear that from teachers all the time. And just extend yourself that grace. We all have to have it. We all have to give it to ourselves. Thank goodness. I know we're giving it to each other. Let's keep doing that. And appreciate everything you guys are doing. You are the right staff for our kids and our families. And I go to bed every night and I fall asleep really easily because of that. So thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.